The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi, my dear children. Welcome back. How are things going on? Hope all are doing well. So, let's begin our today's session with a famous quote. Reading makes a full man, conference makes a ready man, and writing makes an exact man, said by an English philosopher, Sir Francis Bacon. A person who has a habit of reading never feels lonely or bored. Am I right? Yes. Likewise, travel makes you a better person, and traveling makes you happier. When you learn a bit more about the world and the people that live in it, you will become a more open-minded person, more adjustable and humble. Got it? Yes. So, we have started our journey of second unit, Wings and Wheels. So, in the previous class, we discussed about a train journey of the poet and the experiences. So today, let's learn a story, The Little Round Red House, written by Caroline Sherwin Bailey. Caroline Sherwin Bailey. She was an American writer of children's literature. She was born in Hoosick Falls, New York, and attended Teachers College, Columbia University, from where she graduated in 1896. Her stories for children include Boys and Girls of Colonial Days in 1917, Broad Stripes and Bright Stars in 1919, Hero Stories in 1919, and The Little Rabbit Who Wanted Red Wings in 1945. She wrote for the Children's Hour in 1906 in collaboration. In 1947, her book Miss Hickory won the Newbery Medal. Children, are you interested in riddles? What is a riddle? A riddle is a question or a statement having a hidden meaning to solve it. Can I ask you some riddles? Are you ready? Yes. I have head, I have a tail, but has no body. Who am I? Can you guess it? Yes, a coin. Coin has a tail and coin has a head, but has no body. Then one more riddle, okay? I have keys but no locks. I have space but no room. I can enter but can't go inside. Who am I? Yes, absolutely. The keyboard. Got it? These are riddles. So in this chapter, a little boy tries to find out the answer for the riddle and makes an adventurous journey. Let's see how he solves it. So let's begin our story. On a cold, rainy and windy Saturday in October, a little boy was bored. He went down to the kitchen where his mother was reading the newspaper and he said, "Mom, I don't know what to do. I am bored. His mother looked up from her paper and smiled. Why don't you draw a picture with your new crayons? I already drew 100 pictures, he said. I am bored. Well, why don't you read one of your new library books? She suggested. I already read all of my books 1,000 times. I am bored. How about playing with your toys? She said. I already played with 1,000,000 toys. I am bored. Most of the time, mothers don't like it when their children say they are bored. I was never bored when I was your age, they say. Though this can't be true, can't it? So his mother suggested him to draw some pictures with his new crayons, but he replied he drew 100 pictures and he felt bored. Then again his mother suggested him to read some of his library books. And he said again he read it 1,000 times and he felt bored. And he replied he played million times with his toys. So he felt again bored. So it's a common thing. Usually mothers don't like to hear from their children when they say they are bored. Here also. And the mother replied, I was never bored when I was your age. They say, though this can't be true, can it? Surely. Because when I was a small girl, I never felt bored. Because the weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, we used to play with their neighbors and they used to come to our home to play. We used to do our homework, we used to study together, we used to play, we made fun. So, the time was not enough for us, right? Little boy's mother thought for a bit and then she said, I remember one day when I was your age and I was bored. So, the mother said to him that when I was at your age, I too felt bored. My mother, that is your grandmother, sent me out to search for the strangest little house. I can tell you just what she told me to do. So the boy became surprised. The strangest house? The little boy looked up. His mother was bored once. That was interesting. She said, first you need to put on your raincoat and your hat and your scarf and your mittens and your boots. Then you need to go outside and then you need to walk up the block and down the block and around the block to look for the little house. So his mother gave some instructions to him. That is, first you need to put on your raincoat. Put on means to wear. So he has to put on his raincoat, your hat, your scarf and your mittens and the boots. Why he has to put on all these things? Yes, because it was a rainy, windy season. Then you need to go outside. So his mother instructed him to put on all these things and then to move out. And then you need to walk up the block. What do you mean block? It's an area surrounded by 4 streets in a city. So walk up the block and down the block and around the block to look for the little house. What type of house will it be? Let's see. What kind of little house? The little boy asked. It's a little round red house with windows and no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle. She said, how could it be? A house without doors and windows? Let's see. The boy stared at her. Stare means look steadily in a surprising way. I never saw a house like that before. Where is it? The boy became surprised. His mother said, I can't tell you, but if you keep your ears open and eyes open and you look hard, you should find it not too far from here. You won't even need to cross the street. So his mother said to him that if you observe keenly, surely you will find the house sooner. I will do it, he said. So little boy agreed. He bundled up his raincoat and his hat and his scarf and his mittens and his boots too and set out to find out the little round red house with no windows and no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle. So he bundled up his raincoat. Bundled up means he put on. Put on means to wear. So he started his journey. So what was the riddle here? Yes, the mother given a riddle to him. That is, he has to find out a house, strangest house. The house is round and red in color, which has no windows, no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle. So let's see whether the boy finds out the house or not. He walked down his long block all the way to the corner. He saw white houses and blue houses and yellow houses and green houses. Then he saw red house. There it is, he cried. He cried means here with surprise. He became happy. But wait, the house was a square, not round. Then only he remembered that his mother said about the round house, but he saw a square house. It had a chimney, all right, but lots and lots of windows. It had a door too. He couldn't tell if there was a star. The windows had curtains on the inside. So he started his journey to search for the house. He found yellow houses, blue houses, white houses. At last he found a red house and he became happy. But all of a sudden he remembered that his mother asked him to find out for the round red house, but he found a square house. That can't be, he said, and continued his march around the corner. March means walk. Up the long block and to the next corner. There were yellow houses and brown houses and many colored houses. But not one of them was a little round red house with no windows and no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle. So he continued his walking, but he couldn't be able to find a house which his mother told him. He found brown houses, yellow houses, but all the houses has windows and doors. As he was standing on the sidewalk feeling puzzled, the little white mail truck pulled up. The mail carrier poked his head out of the window and said, "Little boy, are you lost?" "Oh no," the boy replied. "I live at Ivy Rock Lane, Bridgewater, New Jersey." So as he was standing on the sidewalk means the path for the pedestrians. Okay? Feeling puzzled means confused. He became confused how to find out the house, where to go. At that time, a little white mail truck pulled up. So he saw a mail truck was arriving there. The mail carrier poked his head out. Who is a mail carrier? Yes, a person who delivers letters or parcels. Peeped his head out of the vehicle and said, "Little boy, are you lost?" What do you mean by are you lost? That means lost the way or unable to find the way. The boy replied, "Oh no, I live at Ivy Rock Lane, Bridgewater, New Jersey." So he said the correct address to the mail carrier. "That's right, around the corner," the mail carrier said. "No, you are not lost." The little boy asked, "Do you know where everyone lives around here? I am looking for a special house." So the little boy asked the mail carrier, "Do you know where everyone lives in the city?" The mail carrier said proudly, "Of course, I do, little boy. That's my job." So we know that a mail carrier, this postman, knows each house because he brings letters and parcels to the houses. "What house do you want to find?" Little boy said, "My mother sent me to find a little round red house with no doors and no windows, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle." "Little boy," the mail carrier said, "I have been to every house in town, but I have never seen a house like that before. Are you sure your mother isn't pulling your leg?" So by hearing that, the mail carrier surprised and he told the little boy that I have been to every house in the city, but I couldn't find a house like this. So the mail carrier asked the little boy, "Are you sure your mother isn't pulling your leg?" What is it? Pulling your leg? Is it pulling the one's leg? No. Here it means to tease or joke. "Oh no," the little boy answered. "My mother wouldn't tease me. She said she found the same house when she was just my age, so I know it's real." So the little boy replied, "My mother won't tease me. When she was in my age, she also found the same house. The mail carrier shook his head sorrowfully and said, "Sorry, I can't help you, my friend. I have to go to getting on my way. It's time to deliver the mail." So the mail carrier shook his head and said sadly that I can't help you. It's a time to do my duty. So he has to deliver the letters. So he has to go. Waving goodbye, he drove down the roads. So he said goodbye to the boy and he moved away. The little boy tromped around the next corner and down the block. Every house has windows and doors. Some were red, some had chimneys, but not one of them was a little round red house with no windows, no doors, a chimney on the top and the star in the middle. So little boy tromped. Tromped means walk heavily. So he walked heavily around the next corner and down the block. So he started to roam each and every corner in the city to search for the house. He stopped again to think and looked up to see a police car cruising down the street. It pulled up alongside him and a police officer poked her head out of the window. "Little boy, are you lost?" "Oh no," the little boy replied. "I live at Ivy Rock Lane, Bridgewater, New Jersey." "That's right around the block," the police officer said. "No, you are not lost." So next, who has come? Yes, there is a police car cruising down the street. Cruising means driving. So there arrived the police car. It pulled up alongside him. So the police car stopped near the boy and the police officer asked the little boy, "Are you lost?" Why the mail carrier also asked the same question, the police officer also asked the same question? Because the boy was in a puzzle situation, that means he was confused and he was moving to this corner and moving to that corner. So the boy replied, "I live at Ivy Rock Lane, Bridgewater, New Jersey." So he replied the same answer. "That's round around the block," the police officer said. "No, you are not lost." So the small boy said the correct address. Then the police officer understood he was not lost. Little boy asked, "Do you know where everyone lives around here?" The same question the little boy asked the police officer too. "I'm looking for a special house. I asked the mail carrier and he did not know where it was." The officer said, "Little boy, I know this neighborhood like the back of my hand." What do you mean back of my hand? That means knows well. So what's the duty of the police officer? Yes, to safeguard the city. "I drive up these streets and down these streets every day, making sure things are safe around here. What house do you want to find?" So the police officer drive up these streets in the morning and evening to make sure the things and the people are safe. And the police officer asked, "What kind of house you are searching for?" Little boy said, "My mother sent me to find a little round red house with no windows and no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle." "Little boy," the officer said, "I have been past every house in this town, but I have never seen a house like that before. Are you sure that what your mother said?" The police officer also confused. And the police officer asked little boy, "Are you sure what your mother told you?" "Oh yes," little boy answered. "She said she found the same house when she was just my age, so I know it's real." Again, he gave the same reply to the police officer as he given to the mail carrier. "When my mother was in my age, she found the same kind of house." The police officer said, "Sorry, I can't help you, buddy. I have got to be getting back to my street patrol." So the police officer has to do the duty. So they have to safeguard the common people. So they started their work. Little boy was getting discouraged. His mother said he wouldn't even need to cross the street, but no matter how hard he looked, he could not find the house he was looking for. There was just one more house to check, and that was Mr. Fetzer's house, the end of the block. So the little boy searched each and every corners in the city, and only he has to search for the last house where Mr. Fetzer was living. Mr. Fetzer had lived in the neighborhood longer than anyone. Years and years ago, there were many farms in Bridgewater, but one by one, the land had been sold and the houses were built where there had once been fields of Jersey tomatoes and white corn. So Mr. Fetzer was an old man and he had a farm. Mr. Fetzer's farm was the last one left in the neighborhood. He ran a small farm stand and sold the fresh fruits and vegetables he grew in his gardens and orchard. What do you mean orchard? Kaikanithotam. Okay? So, who was Mr. Fetzer? He was a farmer and he had a farm where he grew fresh vegetables and fruits. If anyone knows where that house is, he should, the little boy reasoned. So, up he trudged to Mr. Fetzer's barn and peered inside. So, at last, the boy reached the house of Mr. Fetzer. There was a farmer packing apples into boxes. He looked up. Why? Hello there, young feller. What can I do for you? Come for a taste of my apple cider. So there was a farmer. Who was a farmer? Yes, Mr. Fetzer. So he was packing the apples into the boxes. Mr. Fetzer looked up and he asked, what can I do for you? And Mr. Fetzer gave apple cider to the little boy. What do you mean apple cider? Apple cider. Cider is a drink made from apple. He poured a cup and handed it to the little boy. Little boy drank it down gratefully. Gratefully means thankfully. Why? Because the little boy was very tired, roaming to the corner, this corner to that corner. So he was a little boy, so he became tired. Hunting for houses was thirsty work. Hunting means searching. Searching for houses was a thirsty work, means hard work. The cider tasted sweet and tart all at the same time. So, how the cider tastes? Cider tastes with sweet and tart. T-A-R-T. Tart means sour. S-O-U-R. Pulipa. Thanks for the cider, little boy said. So, the little boy showed his gratitude by saying thanks to Mr. Fetzer. Mr. Fetzer, can you help me? I am looking for a house. So, at last, the little boy reached Mr. Fetzer's barn and he asked the same help. It's a little round red house with no windows and no doors, a chimney on the top and a star in the middle. My mother says you would live here longer than anybody. And she found the house when she was my age, so I thought you might know where it is. So the little boy said to Mr. Fetzer, when my mother was in my age, she found out the same house. So, can you help me? Mr. Fetzer smiled. Seems to me I remember your mother when she was just a little girl. So, at that time, Mr. Fetzer remembered his mother. Seems to me she came to find me on a day just like today. Seems to me that she was looking for a house too, just like the one you have described. And seems to me I knew just where to send her. So, Mr. Fetzer remembered the days when his mother came to ask the same help from Mr. Fetzer. The little boy ran across the field and up the hill. He stood under one of the apple trees and looked all around. So, the little boy ran up the hill and across the fields. And he stood under one of the apple trees and he looked around. The wind was blowing a dancing breeze and it blew a red apple right off the tree. Thank! The apple landed at his feet. So what did he get? He got an apple. Picking it up, the little boy took a closer look. A little round red house with no windows and no doors? He said, turning it and looking at its shiny round red surface. Now he got it. A little round red house with no windows and no doors. A chimney on the top, he said, touching the stem, a star in the middle. He put the apple in his raincoat pocket and ran all the way home. So now he found the answer for the riddle. So he put the apple in his pocket and he ran away to his home. Mom, Mom, he cried, I think I found it. His mother smiled when he took the apple out of his pocket, and handed it to her. I think you did it too, she said. A little round red house with no windows and no doors, a chimney on top. But where is the star? He asked. The shape of the apple is round. It has no windows and no doors, and it has a chimney on the top that is stem. But where is the star? The boy confused. The boy asked. She picked up a sharp knife from the table. Placing the apple on its side on a plate, she cut it in half, right through its middle. So, when the boy asked the question, where is the star? The mother took a sharp knife and she cut the apple into half. And there in the center was a star. Oh, how wonderful! There inside the apple lay a star holding 5 round seeds. It's too wonderful to eat without looking at the star, isn't it? Children, did you ever notice the star inside the apple? If not, see when your parents bought apples for you. Okay? The little boy said to his mother. Yes, indeed. Indeed means sure. So, sure answered his mother. So, it was an adventurous journey of the little boy who wanted to solve the riddle. So, my dear children, I hope the story is clear for you. Read the text well, go through the new words, always refer the dictionary for getting the meanings. Got it? And improve your vocabulary. So, that's all for today's session. Meet you in the next class. Until then, it's bye from your Indra teacher.